Good afternoon, or morning, from depending on where you're watching from. Welcome to LAX Airport, where we are spawned in as the 737 MAX 8 from bredok3D, the unflyable plane apparently, or scam as people are calling it. Haven't had this aircraft very long. I've had a bit of fun learning how to fly it. It flies very differently to how I think it should fly. And I've watched a few tutorials on YouTube, all of which are out of date. So this is version 1.7 of the aircraft, and I think the last instructions were 1.5. So a few things have changed, but it is amazing to finally be flying a yoke with an aircraft that actually has a yoke. So let's get inside the flight deck. We are flying from Los Angeles to San Francisco. Current time is 2 p.m. local, and it's about a 45 to 55 minute flight. So I've already requested clearance. I've already mapped out my flight plan. Everything is all set in the settings, ready to go. I'm just going to double check the meta. So at the moment 30.01, I've got 30.03. So let's just reduce that. That's the one thing compared to this and the A320 family is if you can see below the iPad where I'm moving my mouse, that is where the QNH appears, and so to look at it bigger you have to literally zoom in, which now you can't see. So yeah, there it is right there, but it is big enough for me to see on the screen because I have a giant monitor for this game. Anyway, back to the meta. So you'll see in LAX this morning, we're taking off from runway 24 right, are we? Are we taking off from 24 left? I forget. Oh no, that's arriving on 28 right. I'll see, I don't know my way around to find things in here. You'll see some things are missing. Oh, you can't see anything. Sorry. You'll see some things are missing in the flight computer. You don't actually need to put them in. I have set my heading. I've got my reference airport, which is KLAX, and 24 left. So we're taking off from 24 left, so I'll update that. Here we go. So near headwind, 11 knots, bit of haze around, broken cloud down to 18,000 feet, then 11,000 feet, scattered at 900. And then if we go into San Francisco, we are coming in on 28 right, and again it'll be a near headwind. 17 knot wind though, it'll be slight crosswind off to the right side of the aircraft. A few clouds under 600, so it's fairly clear, 10 miles of visibility. Kind of hoping that wind drops off the later it gets into the afternoon, but I have my doubts, so it could be an interesting landing, as my landings always are. Anyway, we are ready to go, so let's get this bird fired up. Now it's a little bit weird starting it up. The APU comes on and it doesn't stay on, so I am going to start the engine ignitions pretty soon from after pushback, but that's okay. It's just one of the little weird things about this aircraft. So batteries can come on, standby power, battery on, ground power is already on, APU started. We have to turn on the aft fuel pump and start the APU. Now while that's starting, we also have to turn on all the electrics, the APU bleed, and also the engine bleed. Now these here, you click them and they do go back, but I have checked the that is actually turning them on and on. Don't need the gasper fan, don't need the recirculating fan. Let's just put that into auto. There we go, there's the APU started. So we will frame. That's the other thing with this aircraft too, is the frame rate is just a bit shit. There's the okay, the jetway already disconnected itself. Let's go for pushback, and while that's happening, I'm going to come down here and just flick both of these. That is the ignition switches. It won't start the engines, but it will start spinning them up, but it won't actually put any thrust into them. Oh, and I need to turn off the park brake. So everything sort of happens at once in this thing. The other thing I haven't done is I haven't turned on my beacon lights. Might as well turn on the nav lights while we're here. Logo lights, yeah, we're in broad daylight, we don't need it. Strobe I won't turn on until we're ready for takeoff. There we go, there's pushback. So I'll start engine number 2 first. And turn on the remaining fuel pumps. How close are we to... And turn the aircraft. God, everything just happens at once. So I'll turn on all the fuel pumps. Can't believe I remembered those. I usually forget. And sit there going, why is engine number 1 not starting? Okay, I did start my pushback turn a little bit too early. That is fine. See where Skywest 5566 is? That's where we are taking off from. So quite a short taxi this morning. We'll go back and put the park brake on, and we should be able to start engine number 2. We can. It's very quiet inside this cabin as well. Flight deck, I should say. All right, let's see if engine number 2 actually, engine number 1 actually starts up. We've got N2 rising and thrust, excellent. So that is the thing, you've got to turn on the ignition switches as you're pushing away. The other thing this aircraft does as well is we have got ground power. You don't need to turn off or on at all. It'll turn itself off and on, which I don't think is an actual thing. But yeah, as soon as that ground power disconnects, your APU stops running, and you have to restart the whole thing. I'm going to turn on the AI radio comms as I always do, and we should already have our vectors to the runway. Taxiing the whole short runway 24 left using D8D D7 EE6. That's pretty much just straight out there and turn right. I have got all those turned on. Flight director needs to be turned on. Auto throttle will turn on as we head onto the runway. What else do we need to do? We need to put flaps to 5, and you can actually see on the screen there's 2, 5. There we go. So your flaps do show up here, and we also need to arm the speed brake. It just moves just a tiny little bit. You can barely see it. And we'll turn taxi lights to on. Just double check that we've got, we haven't got seatbelts on. No smoking, seatbelts turned on. Strobes stay off for now. We'll just have the beacon and the position. We can turn the APU off. We can turn the APU bleed off. I don't know if you have to click these, but I do. Oh, maybe I don't. Did I just kill my engines? No, I did not. Okay, we are pretty much set and ready to go. So let's get our little fat butt out to the runway. So it's a nice little taxier, that's a word. You only need about 30% power to for it to chug along below 20 knots, as opposed to the Airbus models in this simulator where you need up to 45% to keep them moving. One thing I don't like, there's a lot of things I don't like. One thing I don't like is if I go 90-degree left view, there's a great big beam in the way. Whereas if you go right, you can still sort of get the same thing. And the frame rate drops to shit in this plane on the ground as well, especially at like an airport like LAX, where it is sort of an Asobo handcrafted airport. You can sort of see it's sort of a bit steppy, but it's okay. I've already had crashed the desktop once this morning. Thanks for that, Microsoft, by the way. So we're going to turn left there, and then right, and then actually we're just going to turn left and then we'll line up. I'm not going to bother turning right and then left to get round onto the runway. See the frame rate just absolutely diminish as I bring up the ATC window. So I am just going to drop the power and we're going to line up here, and I'll see if the auto ATC picks it up that we're at the runway. I think I'm supposed to go down a little bit further. So I'll just stop here. Yeah, no, it didn't pick up that I'm at the runway, so I'm going to request clearance now. 30.03, so that is incorrect what I've got in there. 238 at 9, I have got 250 at 11. So it is a little more of a crosswind than I would like. But we're going to turn on the landing lights, which you can actually see while we're flying this one. Power up, we'll go around the corner a little bit. There is nothing coming in. Yes, there is. Okay, excellent. UAE, is that Emirates? Oh my god, they probably have to go around. Sorry. Yeah, it's going to be close. Lane lights are on, spoilers are armed. Well, I haven't set my brakes to RTO. Nose down, we'll go up to 50% power or thereabouts. We'll turn auto throttle on and we'll go toga. So it's a bit weird going toga in this aircraft as opposed to flex in the Airbus. And it does drift on the airport, on the runway just a little bit. There we go, passing 100. I should say V1. There it is. And rotate. And I've got to pull all the way back to get this bitch in the air, far out. So the wheels end up leaving the ground at 180 knots, which is a little bit too quick. And of course you've got to keep pulling it back to keep it going up. And I'm just going to lose some of the flaps. And what do we... So I want to be about 3,000 feet per minute. Oop. I lose all the flaps and I'm going to go into autopilot straight up. So it was autopilot on and we didn't really deviate much. That was, I would say, that's a very successful takeoff. Look at that. Straight out. Did the Emirates aircraft go around? Oh, he landed. Oh, thank God for that. So as you can see, it is flyable, perfectly flyable, just with a few minor things. We did just double check ATC. I think we have to climb to 11,000 feet. Oh, see, now the QNH is 30.01. Change that again. 8,000 feet, sorry. I feel like I've forgotten something. Have I disabled the speed brake? Speed brake disabled. Got our map out to there. I do like these massive big displays. In this aircraft. It is a bit nicer than the, I mean, even though, like, say, the likes of this here, where the mouse is going around, is pretty much the same size as what it is in the Airbus, and you do get all this other extra stuff. I imagine the real aircraft, you can, I can get rid of that, and have that as one display. You can switch these around, so I can put my map information there, engine information there, but I like to have it in the middle, like that. Okay, that's passing 8,000, so 180. Our cruise altitude today is flight level 280, because it is just such a short flight, but that is fine. This is a hell of a climber, this aircraft. Okay, there's 10,000, so lose the landing lights. You have to excuse, I've had to do have a cold at the moment. That's just come out of nowhere, probably because the season changed. We're coming into summer down here in Australia, and for some reason I've got a cold, which is annoying. But hopefully it doesn't last for too long. So if I sniff, well, just deal with it. So I have had a lot of fun in this 737, getting used to things like turning the auto throttle off before touchdown. That took me a long time to realise that. I was being cocky and not watching tutorials all the way through because, well, landing's landing and I'm terrible at it no matter what. But I'd forget to turn off auto throttle, and of course it wouldn't go into reverse. It would just keep pushing me down the runway and lifting off again. So that was a little bit confusing. I thought there was something wrong with the aircraft, but no, there was something wrong with the pilot. That was what we call in the industry a PEBCAC issue, which is a problem that exists between keyboard and chair, as in me. So the livery looks good. The modelling is okay. If I do this view here, you can see the wheels actually stick out. They don't do that in the real aircraft. If you look underneath, there's huge big gaps. Again, the real world aircraft, definitely not like that at all. But otherwise, it's not bad for what you pay. If you don't want to pay the $80 or $100, depending on what area or what region you live in, for the PMDG 737NG, and this one I definitely recommend. It's perfectly flyable once you work out its little weird nuances, and I've had a lot of fun in it. Okay, so just about at flight level 180, so I'm going to, we better check our ATC 280, of course, so it's taking us up to cruise altitude now. The standard button doesn't work, even though it is there. So to change your QNH, you just have to manually dial it up or down. So we'll change that down to 290 at decimal, 9 at 2, because we're above 180. Now this, you'll see it's rocking left and right as we just made a turn. So this aircraft will do that. It'll make a turn and then it'll correct itself, and it takes a couple of goes for it to do that. So I think that's modelling issues with the actual aircraft, but it doesn't affect the flight too much. You just have to be wary that when you're mapping out your flight route, that you don't have too many tight turns on final approach. So coming into airports the likes of Hamburg, or what was another one, Geneva I think, has a whole heap of zigzagging in on approach. Not ideal in this model of 737. When I say this model, I mean this build from Bredok, because it'll throw itself off course just trying to right itself to stay on course. It's a bit of a pain. And there's a few other interesting things you'll see as we come in on approach that you have to do to actually get her on the ground. The autopilot control panel is not programmed correctly, and you can't rely on the autopilot whatsoever. You do have to put manual inputs in. I mean, you would anyway in real life, I suppose, but you just seem to have to put more in than you would. Things like your speed control, it wants to drop you down to 135 knots when you're descending, which is just not going to work. Now, I don't know if this is the difference between the Airbus and the Boeing in real life, but when you adjust your flaps, it doesn't adjust your speed, so I manually do all that. And if I point here, you can see there's a white, actually I just looked it up, I do have a white card, and on that, I don't know if you can see that, maybe, it does say for a 737 300/400, 500, so for the classic, but this is my basic flap speed settings that I've got there to keep an eye on, and it works for this aircraft as well, and sort of obviously play it by ear also. So we're coming up to 260, so we're almost at cruise altitude already. It's really quick. Our elapsed time, it actually automatically starts on this one, which I do like, is 7 minutes. So 7 minutes from ground to, almost cruise altitude. That's pretty good. We are climbing at near 2,500 feet per minute. And at 28,000 feet, we won't get to max speed. So this one, its cruise speed is 301 knots, or 300 knots according to that. So the Airbus is 320, so this one doesn't reach max speed until much higher up because it's only going 300 knots. So at flight level 280 probably won't, and we'll just cruise along at 300 knots, which is it giving me a max speed? It's not even giving me a max speed readout. I think I can do that in here. Did I just change that? Oh yeah, 0.760. But I want to rely on that. Yeah, so it's not going to give me a max speed on the display. You see, we just sort of did a right turn. Now we're tipping to the left, and then we'll go right, and then it will sort of settle. It's a little bit strange, but it's still fine. Okay, so we have reached cruise altitude, so I'm going to turn the seatbelts off. It doesn't make the ding. Oh, this is really annoying. It doesn't go bong. So, oh, bong. Oh, and I didn't turn my strobe lights on. Wow. Oops. Always forget that because in the Airbus it's auto. I really need to have a takeoff checklist, don't I? Or add it to the takeoff checklist in my head. Yeah, so we're tipping to the left again, then we'll go right, backwards and forwards until we have settled on course. And so we go tipping right again. Now the livery of this, I think they've modelled it nicely. The blue might be a little bright. I think it might be a little bit darker in real life. Of course, that's with the full sunlight on it, and this side here is with the shadow. This side might be closer in the shadow to what the blue actually is. You would have seen on the title card for this video that is a brighter blue in that photo than it should be. I did double check this registration, so November 8713 Mike. It's a real registration from a 737 MAX 8. So I didn't put that registration in. That's preset to into the livery. So I have to remember that. So when I enter the registration number in the game, that I have to match it to that. Well, I don't have to. I can put anything I want in, I suppose, but I'd prefer to match it to that. So yes, they have used real registrations for the liveries of these, and you get it's either 12 or 16 liveries. Actually, I can tell you because I've got it in a spreadsheet because I'm a nerd. Once I open it up, I can tell you what liveries you do get with it. Where are you? Livery guide 737-8. So you get 15. Why is it only 15? I thought it was 16. Anyway, so in Europe, you get Lufthansa, KLM, Ryanair, Norwegian Air Shuttle, British Airways, and EasyJet, even though EasyJet don't fly 737s any longer. And British Airways don't either, I don't think. I'm pretty sure they have no 737s in their fleet. And then in North America, you get American Airlines, Delta Airlines, Southwest, and then you get a US Air Force livery, and of course the Boeing livery. South America, you get Varig from Brazil, and then in Asia/Oceania, you get all Nippon Airways. I can't see that there's been any livery updates. bredok3D do make livery packs for the Flight Sim Marketplace, and so I think it would be nice if they released another livery pack for this aircraft. Include maybe 10, 12 more liveries. I'd pay 10, 15 bucks for that. For more, like, it would be good to see Qantas. Even though these airlines don't fly the MAX, it'd be good to see Qantas. They do fly the NG, Virgin Australia. Who else we got in Australia? Rex Airlines. And then of course, no one in New Zealand because Air New Zealand's all A320 for their narrow bodies. Lion Air, actually maybe not Lion Air, that might be a bit on the nose. But yeah, Garuda, Indonesia, China Southern, just a bit more variety in the Southern Hemisphere will be nice. But otherwise I'm quite happy with what we've got. I'm glad I've got Ryanair and Southwest, two of the largest 737 operators on the planet. In fact, I think Southwest is the largest 737 operator with 700 and something. It's not 737, it's more than that now. But they have, we'll say 730 plus 737s in their fleet, mostly consisting of the 737-700. And from what I can see, they're replacing the 700 NGs with the MAX 8, which is a higher capacity but lower fuel burn. So it makes sense that they would do that. A couple of Queens of the Sky around. Interesting, since the updates, like the Sim Update 10, like I was in the beta program for so long, and then when all the updates for everyone came out, I can actually see the 747 in its true form if someone else is flying it, which is amazing, because before it looked like that hybrid A380. It wasn't marked as generic, it was marked as a B748, but it would look like the A380 hybrid weird model that they have in the sim. And so it's nice to be able to see those. I can see 737s if they've got the bredok Max. But the Airbus, I've got the A319, 20 and 21 now, and they all come across as the 20, which I suppose makes sense because that's what it is modelled around. It is just aesthetic changes visually and also flight handling characteristic changes, so of course to anyone else it's going to look like a 320. Anyway, I'm just going to take a real quick break because my nose is running and it's really bugging me. And so I will, just real quick, just in the 5 minutes max, I will be right back with you. Okay, I'm back. Kill that music. There it goes. Alrighty, so 160 away. We won't start our descent until a little before 80 miles away. It's a pretty much straight in approach. I have flown this route a few times for practice, of course. I mean, why wouldn't you? And have noticed that I really have to descend her to the ground pretty quick early on. Otherwise, it's just coming way too high. I don't know why. It's just in San Francisco. All the other airports seem to be fine. So we will start to descend at 2,200 feet down. And of course we'll be going at 242 knots, so we want to try and keep that speed. In fact, why is our speed? Why are we overspeeding? What's going on here? Auto throttle was on. Look at the speed we're doing 336 knots. Why are we overspeeding? What is going on here? Everything's set, VNAV, LNAV, autopilot. This is weird. Okay, I'm going to put it into hold now and get that speed dropped. I don't know why we're cruising at 336 knots, that's a bit too quick. It's a new one? I don't know why it's doing that. Usually it's fine. Okay, so I'm going to put VNAV back on and see what happens. See if it stays at 300. This is just the little weird things that this model aircraft does. See if it stays at 300 knots. Just going to double check everything is okay in the overhead. Ah, well those should be off for a start. That's not going to affect it though. Everything else seems to be fine. Yeah, not sure why it was doing that. We'll see what happens. It is climbing up again. Oh no, it's settling at 300. Oh yeah, it was just a glitch, I would say. Have a quick look at the Meta. Not much of an update. Still, mind you, this is 39 minutes ago. Still 17 knots. Slight crosswind off to the right side of the aircraft as we're coming on 28 right. Clouds down to 600, so I'll keep an eye on that. While I was taking my 5 minutes as well, I had a quick look at Southwest's fleet numbers. Looks like they've got 748, so according to planespotters.net, 748 737s in their fleet. With 92 on order, apparently. Oh, please refresh this page. Cookies need to be enabled. Oh, no, they don't. Yeah, 748 aircraft, and that consists of, where are you, in service, 414 737-700s with 22 of them parked. So 436 737-700 NG, 207 737-800 NG, 105 737 MAX 8s, and out of the MAX 8s they've got 37 more on order. They've got 35 737 MAX 7s on order. So yeah, so with a total operating fleet of 748, and that is including 28 parked aircraft. So it's good to see these airlines pulling the aircraft quite rapidly out of being parked up or being dormant as the industry revives, which is really good. I know it's a massive industry in the US. I mean, they've got I think the top 4 largest airlines by fleet are all American, and then the next one's like it's either China Southern or China Airlines or something like that. So it's quite impressive. So air travel, hugely important in the USA. It is quite a vast chunk of land with a lot of people in between the west and east coasts. So I can understand that air travel would be reasonably important there. I mean, I'm in Australia. Air travel is quite important here, but we don't have the fleet sizes. I mean, we don't have the population. We've got 26 million people versus, what, 280, 300 million people in the States, so huge difference. But our mainland landmass is, there's only 1,000 square kilometres difference. We're only 1,000 square kilometres smaller on our mainland compared to mainland USA, with less than a tenth of the population. So our cities are quite far apart. We've got Brisbane, where I live, is 1,000 kilometres, is 454 miles from Sydney, which is the next closest capital city. And it's only an hour or so's flying time, but driving is 13 hours. And I know this because I've done it. And never will again, it was horrible. So, so flying is quite important in Australia as well, but of course in America, to get all those people from place to place, you need a lot of flights, and need a lot of large airports as well. So we're down, what are we, 120 or so away. So we'll start our descent fairly soon. We should get a slowdown to 242 knots automatically reasonably soon as well. It'll be interesting to see if it does do that. It is holding at 300 knots now. Still not sure why it went up to 336. It was a little bit strange. But it's just, if you are flying this aircraft, it's just things you have to watch out for. It just does weird things for no reason whatsoever. So first step is check all your settings are all correct in the aircraft, and then manually override, get it back to where it should be, and then put the auto settings back on. And I am still having issues with the Turtlebeach, where these buttons down here that I'm pointing at, these 10, randomly activate themselves. Not all of them, just some of them, but sometimes the gear will go down on its own, landing lights and things will turn off. The parking brake is the big one. It always turns on when these buttons activate, which is not what you want if you're coming into land. But fortunately, so if I press it, it does show up on screen. So it gives me a caution up here, and it does tell me that the park brake is on. It's in red because obviously it shouldn't be on. If I turn it off, that caution disappears. And of course, you'll see my throttle levers are all the way up to the top. They'll stay there because this is not motorised, unlike the actual throttle in the 737, where it is motorised and will move accordingly. So a lot different to the Airbus. Now, the Airbus, you just click it into CL, which actually I looked it up. It doesn't stand for climb. It stands for something else, and I forget what it is. People think it's climb, but it's not. It's actually an acronym for something else. But anyway, I will, next time I'm flying an Airbus, I will make sure I have that information to tell the people. But yeah, so you just click it into CL for the duration of your flight. You don't generally take off with toga unless you're taking off with flaps at 2 or more. You take off at flex, and then you click it back into CL with the Boeing. You arm your throttle. You can actually push the toga button, and you can see it if I, get rid of that. If I move my mouse to here, see that little blue that's lighting up? That there is the toga button. You can push that and it will just put your throttles straight up into toga and get you off the ground. I don't tend to do that because it's a lot of camera work. I'd just rather arm the auto throttle and push the throttle levers full forward. So as we come down, I will pull these throttles down, and it won't change in the sim, but just in preparation for landing, because obviously I'm going to turn auto throttle off and then cut the power to the engines before the wheels touch down. Okay, so there's a slow down to 242, so I'm going to just check. Yeah, it's already asking us to descend. It's probably going to say please expedite as well. Descend to 200, keep speed not above 280, that's fine. Oops, yeah, please expedite your descent. We've got plenty of time. We're still above 80. Come on, where are you? There we go, and I'm going to click vertical speed and go down by, well, it's going to be 2250. I hate how I can't change that. Sometimes it has, sometimes it has the 50 in there. I'm also going to hit speed, and yeah, it should be at 242. So that there is quite important that you, in the bredok3D 737, manually adjust your vertical speed. Don't rely on the autopilot or the computer to descend you down, because it's going to descend you too rapidly, or it's not going to descend you at all. And then make sure that you have your desired speed punched in, and you hit the speed buttons. That will turn off, your vertical speed override will turn off VNAV, but you must hit the speed button. And you've got to keep pressing it. If you see your speed changing, rising or even dropping, just press the speed button again. It'll remind it that you are in control, not it, and it will get you back on track. Okay, so where are we? 80 miles away, and we're coming below 260. So yep, no, we're on track. I'm just going to keep pushing it down. I want to be lower than I need to be in this aircraft, because like I said, when you're coming on an approach, for some reason it just doesn't seem to descend. I don't think it descends as fast as it's saying it's descending. So I think there might be some programming issues there. But we'll keep pushing it down to 200. I want to be at 200 before we are 60 miles away. Of course, there are more flap settings on this, so it's all in degrees as opposed to the Airbus, where it's just flaps 1, 2, 3 and full. Hence why I have the little card with the information of what speeds roundabouts I should be doing. So to give you an idea, so before we go to flaps 1, I'll slow it down to 230 at about 25 miles away, and then here's my parking brake just come back. Parking brake just activated itself, which means the lights have all gone up the fuck as well. Yep, so strobes have come off. Yeah, they've all come off. And my spoiler is probably armed. Yeah, it had. Not that that mattered, but it's a bit of a pain. I'm at peace with the fact that Turtlebeach have not got a solution for it. I haven't contacted them again after sending them some troubleshooting feedback. I thought they would have got back to me. It's a little bit poor that they haven't, but I might send them another message, a nice message, of course. I'm not an arsehole, but I might just send them another nice message and say, hey, what's up with this? Is there going to be a fix for this? I'm hoping it's not my unit, because I don't want to replace it. There's none in stock. It's going to take months. I'll have to send this back to get a replacement, and I don't want to be without. I've got no other controller. And it is nice, like I really do like it. I mean, it's plastic, but it's like heavy duty, and it's been a nice first yoke. Okay, so there we go, we're at flight level 200. Now you'll see here on the vertical speed, it is still lit up and we're still descending. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put this at 15,150 now. There's another thing you've got to watch out for. If you get a altitude change instruction and this still has, like it's still in vertical speed mode, you can't change it. It will still keep going to the altitude that you previously set. The only way to stop it doing that is to press hold and then vertical speed again. So sort of going to get around that. And I'm going to press my speed button, because see how we are climbing 247 knots. If I hit that, it should drop our speed down. I'm just descending at 2,000 feet per minute this time. Okay, so I'm going to put the seatbelts on. There's a lot happening all at once in this aircraft. Put the seatbelts on. And I'm going to do my QNH now, which is 3003, same as it was in LAX. So might as well do that now. Oh, it has got heads-up display, but I don't like it. Like, yeah, you can see stuff on it, but I mean, you can't really see it on. I'm looking at the live stream on YouTube. You can't really make out what's on it. Of course, if you hover over it, it disappears. But I just prefer to use the cockpit displays. I don't even know if the Max has heads up in it. I could be wrong. I mean, let me know if it does, but I have no idea. I know very little about this aircraft. I mean, the channel name is AB Neo, sort of a giveaway that I prefer Airbus, but like I said, I have enjoyed this. I have enjoyed flying this. Okay, so coming down 50, we're at 16,500 feet. So that's, yeah, it's a good rate of descent. I'm happy with that. I find that as long as your speed stays where it should, your descent rate correlates directly to that. So if I descend at 2,500 feet per minute, the speed is going to climb because it can't. I mean, the engine's already at 34%. They're pretty much at idle. Well, not far away from idle. So, so if you are flying this, you've got to watch your vertical speed, watch your actual speed, and also keep an eye on your altitude in relation to how far away you are. So flight level 150, 50 miles away, that's pretty good. We want to be 150, 45 miles away at the very most. Okay, so descend and maintain 10,000, so we can do that. And I'm going to go down go just below 1,500 feet per minute. And get rid of that until we're at 10,000. And press my speed button. See, the speed crept up a little bit. I mean, it is because the engines had rolled up, but still, it would keep going up if I didn't press that speed button. Oh, one thing I haven't checked is, have we got, oh, plenty in the area. In fact, one below us, above us? Not above us. Ah, there we go. SkyWest sneaking in. It's either, they've either got a terrible frame rate or I do. But they've slowed down a bit. Well, hopefully, won't land on top of you. I assume, where have you come from? KONT, I don't know where that is. I mean, immediately I think Ontario, but no, Canada's IATA start with a C, not a K. Anyway, we will keep our descent down. So 40 miles away, 13,000 feet, yeah, it's pretty good. Still got that 17 knot wind in San Francisco, but that was 56 minutes ago, so I'm hoping for an update on this Metar data soon, and hopefully the wind is more head on. If they've given us a QNH reading yet. No, they haven't. Where is that Sky West gone? It looks like we're on exactly the same heading, but he's just a little bit higher. Sorry, they, not he. I don't know if that's he or she. I need to stop assuming it's just the lads who play this game. Okay, I'm going to expedite the descent. Oh no, 10,000. We'll wait until we're at 10,000. We will get the landing lights on now though, so they can come on. And I'm actually going to, since we're going to settle on 10,000, I'm going to drop our speed down to 230 as well. There we go, there's a QNH 30.02, so we weren't far off. Still no weather update on the Metar though. So we should, there we go, 8,000. See, now I'm going to have to press hold and vertical speed again. And we're going to drop down at 1550 because we are higher than I would like to be. Hopefully it doesn't overspeed us too much. The speed will settle as the engines roll down a bit. But I just want to get us a little bit lower. I can hear another aircraft. Yeah, I'm right above them. Now it's only to descend to 3,000. Okay. Feel like that's an error. So I have to press hold and vertical speed again. Yeah, we're way too high. 9,000 feet and we're 25 miles away. Want to be, oh, actually maybe not. But I do have to slow down a little bit between now and landing as well. Okay, cool. SkyWest has overtaken us underneath. That is fine. Might actually just drop, well, not that much. Just drop it down to 1,800 feet per minute for a little bit, because we're just a little bit higher up than we should be. This is the thing, I was coming in fine and now I'm just too high up. I want to be about 1,000 feet below where I am. There we go, far out. Descend and maintain 4,000. Make up your mind, ATC. That is 20 miles away, so I'm going to drop our speed down to 10. And put the first flap 1, we'll go flap 2 actually. See if we can get that nose down a bit. Come on, drop down. This is exactly what the 747 does, the Asobo 747. It likes to stay up in the air. Come on. Get down. Don't make me use the speed brake. I'm going to have to use the speed brake. Airport in sight already, and we are just still way too high. The airport's over here. You can see 28 right, I think, is there. 28 left is there. Gonna go flaps 5. Should drop our speed a little bit. SkyWest got the right idea. He's down at 3,500 feet. We're still at 5 at 15 miles away, which is still okay. I think we're going to make it just fine, but it's going to be a, we're descending rapidly for this altitude. You see our ILS diamonds already come in. This one is, so we're well above glide slope. I need to drop down to, oh, it's telling me to go down to 3,000. Come on, it's got to get below, got to get below. .3004, cleared runway 28 right approach. Excellent, so we're below the diamond. This could be an okay, this could be okay. Except we are overtaking, oh no we're not. I thought we were closer to Mr. Skywest. Come on, line up, line up, line up. I'm gonna have to drop us down to 2,500. Oops, no, not that much, not that much. To keep us going down. We do need to drop our speed down to 190. And we'll go flaps 10. I'm going to put on the locator now. Just everything's happening at once. I'm going to put on approach now as well. Far out. And I'm going to reduce our speed to 170. Thank you. Flaps 15. We need to lose some speed at rapidly. Flaps need to go to 25, not 30, 25. And we need to drop our speed right down to 150. Landing will be 140, and then we go clear to land. Of course, jet landing runway 28 left. Is that you, dude? Is that Mr. South Skywest? Oh, yeah, okay, you've come round. Right, I see, I see. Cool, you ducked in behind me. So 150. My God, I need to slow down. This is ridiculous. And we need to set our go around altitude to 5,000. Flaps to 30 degrees. Gear should be down. Wow. I don't know what it is with this airport, it just can't seem to get down the altitude correctly. Okay, so we can leave that speed brake now, and we'll go, are we at 1,000 yet? There it is.
1,000.
Go flaps full. Brakes we will set to max auto, and we will arm the spoiler as well. But we are clear to land, so we can get rid of that. Landing lights are on, seat belts are on. Speed brakes are armed. Go around altitude set. Auto brakes are on. Gear is down, 3 in the green. We're good to go. We are good to come in and land. If we don't come in too low, probably actually should have already.
500.
There we go. So autopilot disabled because we are just coming a little too low.
400.
Yes, I hear you. There is someone on the runway, but they are buggering off now, so hopefully, well, I'm going to ignore the go around anyway.
300.
We are deviating just a little bit off to the left because we are get blown that way. Straighten her up. We need to be a little bit lower. Come on. This thing, the nose likes to lift up.
200.
See, we're too high. We're too high by the runway. Come on, get down.
100.
Going to lose auto throttle.
40. 30. 20. 10.
Come on. Come on, get down. Get on the ground. There we go. 2 in reverse. Oh, I hit the brakes again. I always do that. I don't know why. It's just habit. I need to let the auto brake do its thing. But anyway, below is 60 knots. I'm going to take this exit. Is that an exit or is it a runway? That is a runway. Oh, I'm going to take the exit just in front of this, this Virgin that has come across from Heathrow. Let's turn the landing lights off. Well, we are turning 30 knot turn. Yeah, no, let's not do that. We'll turn the taxi lights off. Strobe lights can come off. And I might just hold here because taxi to gates. It should tell me to hold because there is someone coming in. Yeah, there we go. Right. So we will hold there. I'll get rid of you. I'm going to turn off the flight director. I did turn auto throttle off, but I've got a button bound for that. It doesn't activate the switch, so I'll turn that off manually here. That's all fine. We can turn our speed off. Can't remember why LNAV doesn't come off. Oh, there we go. And we'll get the APU started. So I can do that without going up to the top panel. I can just go, that can go on there. And oh, actually, no, I do have to go to it and turn those on. Not that it will stay on. Really, really bugging me. We've been told to go yet. Still hold position. Who is there? Oh, you. Oh, it's our SkyWest friend. Dude, you better hurry up because there's other aircraft coming in. I don't know what you're doing, Mr. Virgin, but your big fat ass is hanging over the runway. Like, seriously, if you finish your game, fuck off. You're done. Or taxi to the gate. Jesus Christ. This is what shits me about this game. People who do this, and oh, there we go. Finally, you're gone. Fucking hell. People who do that shit while they're playing live. Like, seriously, don't do that. If you're gonna sit on, tarmacs and mess up other people's games, don't play live. Okay, I'm just gonna wait for this United Airlines aircraft to come in, which we can't see from that view. Just go like this. There we go. So I'm just gonna wait for this United Airlines generic to come in, and then we will taxi across. Where are we taxiing to? Where are we? 453. Taxi to gate Delta 10 via taxiway Echo. Cross one way 10 right Echo Alpha. So we must be going straight ahead. There's nothing on the signs. Wonderful. I'm pretty sure that is my gate right there. Almost certain. Actually, let's cheat. Yes, it is. What the hell? Okay, that's a weird way. We're not going to follow that path. Have I been given clearance to proceed yet? Nope. So we're going to make it up on our own. Clear those cautions. Oh yeah, continue taxi, thank you. We'll get rid of you, I don't need you for the rest of the taxi. I'm going to try and see if my APU will start again. No, it won't. Last time I hit the generator switches, it shut down my engines, so I'm not going to switch that. And I'm going to actually turn here. Now, this is just an AI created airport, hence why it's a bit buggy. Coming a little bit too quick. I have to say that does taxi really nicely, this the 737 in the sim. But the A320 is not bad. It's pretty good, but this one is just so much better. But it is quite sensitive, so I've sort of got that. Sort of see it sways around a bit. And you would have seen on takeoff the movement and the takeoff as well. Just gonna slow it down a bit. We'll drop the throttle. and just over the line. Whoops. And parking brake is on. Not that you'd know because I did it while I was outside. We'll turn the taxi light off. And you will see up here, the ground power has come on its own, which is great because when I kill these, it obviously kills the power because the APU doesn't seem to want to work. But we'll kill that. It didn't give us our jetway, hasn't given us the option yet. There we go. Obviously because the engines were still rolling up, so we'll get that. We'll turn the fuel pumps off. What else do we need to turn off? APU, I didn't turn the APU bleed on. Oh well. We'll turn off the engine bleed, the left and right packs. What else do we need to turn off? Electrics need to turn off. We connected yet? Here we are. So I can turn off the fasten seat belts. And we'll turn off position light, anti-collision light, battery standby power, and we can turn the battery off. So that's it. Oh, and the APU can go into the on position from the start position. Maybe that's why my APU turns off. Maybe I need to flick it back up into on. Anyway, I'll try that. I'm going to try that. I'm going to keep flying, doing some test flying of this aircraft probably today. But yeah, as you can see, my landing's definitely better in this than the Airbus. I give it about a 6.5 out of 10, whereas all my other ones are about 1 or 2 out of 10. But welcome to, I was going to say sunny San Francisco. 17.8 degrees at the moment in San Francisco. Oh, there we go, the weather updated, finally, wind no change. So thank you for watching. If you're watching this on the replay, probably a little bit too early in the morning for anyone to join live, I did notice. It was just me on my own, but if you're watching this on the replay, thank you very much for watching. I do stream twice a week, and so it's Thursday night, Sunday mornings, but just check my schedule so you can see it in your own time. God, that plane's loud. I'm just going to go back into the flight deck. So next flight, we are back in the Airbus A319ceo because I really want to have another